So what we believe is that in the future, you need somebody to take the first 4 or 5 pictures, okay, and the first 1 or 2 videos in a super efficient and super perfect way. And we want to be that player. Then you feed that to the AI machine. At that point, the AI will know how the folds are working. The AI will know what is the perfect color. The AI will know what are the shadows that this product is creating. The AI will know,
Let's Talk Marketplace.
The Marketplace podcast with Ingrid and Valerie Dichtel.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Talk Marketplace. I'm Ingrid, but today you won't be hearing too much from me because today's episode is all about fashion, and that is firmly in my dear colleagues Valerie's territory, isn't it, Valerie?
Yeah, indeed. Guilty as charged, I would say. I'm quite excited about the episode of today because it's diving into a topic which keeps me still very much on my toes back in the days when I used to work for a fashion brand as a marketplace manager. Also back in my time at Amazon, I was also responsible for product images the vendors had to upload. And oh man, there are so many details which need to be verified, clarified. And I'm really excited to talk today about product images and videos for mainly fashion and sports, especially on multiple marketplaces, because there you need lots of different images. Every marketplace has different style guides. And it's also a hell of a work and a huge cost factor. So
yeah, absolutely, especially the cost factor, I guess. But our guest for today claims that his service can lower production costs for image production by 90%, I think he said, while keeping up a luxury grade quality, which is indistinguishable from traditional high-end fashion photography. That's what I call a tall order.
Definitely. So we are really very excited to have today here Gianni Serazzi, co-founder of Pixelmoda, with us. Pixelmoda is working at the intersection of AI and fashion visuals, helping brands create marketplace-ready imagery in ways that are faster, more flexible, and cost-efficient. Gianni, welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's really great to have you here, Gianni. Before we dive deeper into image creation for fashion brands and what AI has to do with it, let's introduce you with our traditional 3 questions. The first one is, who are you?
Good question. I am a retired manager who came out of retirement for this great adventure. We really saw AI coming 4 or 5 years ago. We had an idea that, we were told AI will be substituting humans, and we actually believe that AI working together with humans can achieve a better result.
Okay, and you doesn't look very much like a retired usual age. Let me like that. So what is your background, Gianni?
I was lucky enough. I grew up in Bain on the consulting side, and then I've been working, on starting some of my own companies and co-investing with Bain Capital on a number of other ventures. And I got lucky enough to be financial independent very early on and take care of these other investments. So I own or co-own a number of other companies, and I'm very privileged and lucky to be in that position. But we really wanted to create, something which is like a global platform. So I think the headquarters are in Italy, but Italy represents less than 20% of our revenue. We shoot in Miami. We shoot in, we have 2 hubs, one in Miami for the US and one in Italy, which is actually, it's multiple studios. Just in Milan, we have now 4 studios and we keep on growing, etc. But like large scale studios. So we're really like a global company. And it's not just a claim, like we have over 100 brands that can testify to whoever is interested that,
Okay,
we
Gianni,
lower.
but to these questions we come later.
Yep. Okay. Okay. we'll get there later.
Okay. What would you say, what do you do best in the product image business?
I mean, it would be good to ask our clients, but what we hear from them is not only we're the largest ones, but using the AI um, together with humans, it gives a level of precision that just humans cannot have. Um, and so we claim that the images and videos are indistinguishable, but they actually come back to us and they tell us it's the level of precision is even higher. And then point number two is, the cost is just a fraction, like 70% off on pictures, 90% off on videos. This is numbers that we hear on a regular basis.
Okay.
Well, you see, Valerie, Gianni told us before that he didn't want to talk about himself,
It's
but
really
just
hard
about
to
his
nail him
service.
on.
You tried your best, I
Yeah,
would say.
that's true. Okay, Gianni, but now a personal one, a fun fact about you.
She's trying again.
A personal one.
One fun fact. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's really fun, but I I was earlier on. I was in privileged enough and lucky enough to arrive at the finals of the Math Olympics, and I realized I always thought I was pretty good at math, and there I realized how much stronger the human brain can be. So that's when I quickly moved from being mathematics to really focusing myself on business. Maybe there's something better. But you think you're good at something, and then you find people or other minds that are 10 times better than you. It's a very humbling experience, but very great experience to have early on in life.
And I guess the basis for a good manager for later on. Yeah, so warm welcome from me as well, Gianni, and grateful to have you here. And as you do like to talk much more about your service than about yourself, let's maybe have a few quick words about your company as well, because Pixelmoda, as you say, it's active globally and you are growing very strongly, but it still isn't that widely known. So maybe in a few words, first just describe what are you doing with Pixelmoda?
Sure. I mean, we are now the global largest producers of pictures and videos. Like there isn't anybody that's making more than us. We keep on growing, 10, 15% a month. We have a healthy pipeline of brands that want to come and marketplaces that want to come. And frankly, marketplaces that represent roughly half of our volumes and brands that represent half of our volumes. Anybody that needs to produce high quality pictures and videos at scale, if they haven't looked into what Pixelmoda can do, frankly, they should. Because the advantages, when people are rational and they look at the numbers, the advantages are just massive. Like we haven't lost a single client since we started, 4.5 years ago. And it's just the possibility of creating images that are indistinguishable because they are not AI generated. So the partner can choose the model. Every picture is shot by a real photographer. Everything is perfectly aligned to the guideline of the brand or of the marketplace. But the cost end up to be, 70% off on pictures, 90% off on videos. That's something we hear on a quite regular basis. And this allows you to increase volumes. So to increase the number of pictures, the number of videos, which drives higher sales. So again, our partners, they tell us they've been increasing 5 to 15% their sales online. Some of them, they got super lucky and they did, over 30%, but the average is 5 to 15% by adding videos, by adding pictures, and all of this without investing a penny. Just by saving, like the day they start with Pixelmoda, they save a ton of money. And this is something that doesn't come that often in fashion or in any other business. The possibility to grow your business and to save quite dramatically, on a cost line that, like Valerie was saying, can be very, very relevant for a brand or for a marketplace. We only do fashion accessories. We've had industry giants, probably the largest marketplace, saying, "Hey, can you also do the videos on unboxing a product?" Like we really, really focused and we stay focused on fashion and luxury. That's what we are.
Mm.
And
Can you
this is,
name a few
yeah,
customers maybe?
oof, I would like not to, but let's say that we have a lot of confidentiality clauses in the contracts that we have. But if you 3 out of the 5 largest online marketplaces, global of fashion luxury, they are our clients. And we just did, we just checked, of the top 100 luxury brands, okay, globally. There is 20 which are already with us. We're by far the largest player, 20 which are already with us. And we're talking to another 15. It takes time to activate um, because many of them, they have internal teams. Many of them, they have long-term contracts with the current supplier. This is a large industry. There's about 6,000 brands and 500 multi-brands globally to do fashion and luxury that spend over 500,000 in PDP, so online images a year. And we're just over, 100 clients, but we keep on growing, growing, growing. And like I said, on luxury and on marketplaces, we already have the big names, they're already there. They're already there. And that makes us really proud.
So
Okay.
let's say, like, if you don't say it, like 3 out of 5 fashion marketplaces in the globally. So I would say maybe Zalando, Amazon, something like that.
I think they all sound good.
Okay.
Getting
Okay.
closer. It's warmer.
It's pretty
Right.
warm. Okay, I get
Okay.
it.
Yeah, let's keep it with this warm area.
And yeah, maybe I will take over here a bit from my experience, because when I worked for a brand, for a fashion brand, I also was responsible for product images, because we started with marketplace business, and there was like, hey, do we have product images? And then they were like, yeah, of course, we have an online shop. And I had a look at the pictures, and I was like, whew, okay, not any possibility on earth that any marketplace will take these pictures. So we need to reshoot all of the NOS styles we had. We need this also for the future seasons, new photo shootings, etc. And obviously we had this like, we have an internal photo studio, and the marketing team came there. It's like, yeah, but we want to have our look and feel. And I was like, yeah, I understand you, but our look and feel doesn't, Zalando doesn't give a shit about our look and feel. They want to have like the cropping, they want to have the size, the model, the lipstick, not lipstick, etc. And then About You had different guidelines, and Amazon has different guidelines, and Bräuninger has different cropping. And then you say, like, okay, how many different photo shooting angles for one article shall we do? And then the costs are like ding, 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 ding. And it's like getting higher and higher. And then you think like, okay, but if I want to connect all the different needs from different departments internally, this is like insane. We cannot do this. And then you have to book a model for the day, and then you realize, but not all the samples are there. We changed something at a sample. And then you have like a photo shooting with the model, and then you have still photography on another day, and then you upload it, and then you realize, this blue is but a different blue than the other one, but it's the same article. So what is the right blue? And there are so many nitty-gritty details, and I don't start from like how big in size in the JPEG, like which cropping, uploading it to different middlewares, like sorting out, naming the different product images and the product. Oh man, it's such a hassle. I wrote a style guide myself, and it's really like 7 years ago, so really a long time ago. And I think it had like 50 sites, and it was just like underwear, nightwear, and swimwear. So oh man, it's such a hassle for brands, and I still talk with brands. Obviously, I'm still very much connected to them, and then they're like, "Yeah, we still have our internal shootings," and I'm like, "Oh man, I feel you." And then they tell me like, "Yeah, but our marketing team has the lead," and then I'm like, "Okay, but who's deciding the costs?" And then we are in the maybe talking field, because I would say marketplace managers, they have a much more need on like, yeah, obviously the style guide approved product images, of their brand, and they all, I mean, we all need to save money, right? And to save costs, especially for product images and videos. And then on the other side, it's like, yeah, but can we do a video here and there? And you said it, like a video for 150 euro is quite a usual price. And overall photo shootings costs are, and then you have like, oh, styles, then there's the stylist for the model and the photographer, and yeah, so it's I think it's really time to also think about outsourcing that topic. If and I know from you and our talks, Gianni, also that that you have the main topic in like, if you don't get a client, it's mostly the topic of like internal teams who are saying like, oh no, they cannot do this as well as we do, right?
Well, it's always politics and it's change resistance. When people are objective and they look, what's the best for my marketplace and what's the best of my brand, and they do for free an A/B test with us, then it's as clear as night and day. I'm selling more, I'm saving usually on pictures 70%, on videos 90%. There's just no reason whatsoever not to implement this solution. But we understand we are disruptive technology, and a lot of people or brands, they are against change, and it's a human being. And if the decision goes into the hands of the people that are managing right now this content production, then it becomes a survival instinct. I might have the same reaction if I were in their shoes. I see technology is eating my lunch, and there's resistance. And there is brands and companies that are embracing it, and they're the winner ones. And there is brands and companies that are resisting it. And it's very funny because like we have two clients competing head to head, and both public. And one has been resisting and not giving us the data to do a full quote of the price, not even the data. We sign all the NDAs of the world, not allowing us to show them how we can be the world's most perfect photocopy machine. That's how we define ourselves, and not giving us the input to even take a picture, even if for free, And the stock price went down like 90-something%. And the other ones seen, competing in the same market, head to head, blah, 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 and the stock prices went up like 15%. And it's like, if you can really see companies that are embracing change without locking yourself in. I would never lock myself in, even with us. AI is changing so fast, both the gen portion and the non-gen portion. I wouldn't want to lock myself into any contract or anything. But if I have something that out delivers my current situation and I don't embrace it, I should really think that by doing that, I am putting my company at great peril.
Let's talk a bit about the tech side of this, because you have been mentioning again and again that Pixelmoda is using AI is an AI assisted company. So how do you use AI, and what is the difference from how you are doing it to what everyone is talking about at the moment, which is GenAI?
So two things. First of all, we come from the luxury world originally, right? So our first clients are big luxury clients, et cetera, et cetera. If you were to tell them 4 years ago we're using GenAI, they would probably kill you and physically threaten you.
Okay, just let me ask. GenAI means I have a really just AI generated image. There is no real person on this product, right? It's just like a generated product image with the product, but all digital, right? Just like to prove it. Yeah?
Correct.
Okay.
I can either take what I have designed. There isn't even a physical product. Yes. I have designed something. Yeah. And before it goes into manufacturing, I can have an AI model create, or an AI engine, I should say, create an image of this item, either flat or on a model, or create even a video. Now, the problem is what I designed and what comes out from production, even from uber luxury brands, it's quite significantly different. And if my black comes out different than something else, or if the the folds that I see on a garment are different, then I might have saved, to create a PDP could be as low as $20 or it could be as high as $60, depending on what model I want, how many views, etc. But I might have saved, let's put an average of like $40 for that SKU, but I might have cost for product returns that are 4,000 euros.
Yeah.
And I might have lower conversion that's costing me 40,000 euros. So I've saved some money, but I have really, really hurt my P&L. So then people said, yeah, but then there's a second way of using the GenAI, which is I still take the garment, the physical garment that comes from production, I put it on a mannequin. And after I have it on a mannequin, so I can see the exact color. The problem is, if I use that to then extrapolate a whole bunch of pictures and a whole bunch of videos, again, AI is just simulating today, which is much better than 3 or 4 years ago, but not perfect, and can just simulate what the folds are going to be. From a 2D picture, I cannot see if this t-shirt is 0.1 millimeter or 0.3 millimeters, for example. So the GenAI is going to generate a bunch of pictures of many different models with many different backgrounds, but it's just making, it's just imagining what the folds will be. If I have to do a video, it's just imagining how this product is going to fit on my body. It doesn't know how elastic it is, for example, because I just taken some pictures on a mannequin. Now, again, this is lower of a risk, but it's still quite significant risk. Where I might have some significant returns on 1 or 2 or 3 bad items that come out bad that wipe out the savings that I've had for 5,000 SKUs that I shot this way. So what we started doing since the beginning is, of course, we use GenAI only if the client asks us, and we use the best partners in the world. And it's changing so fast that the best partner today to do that specific thing can be different than what is in 1 month or in 2 months' time. So we always offer to our partners the best technology on the GenAI. But then we also developed our own technology, which is, as far as we've seen, we haven't seen anybody else having it in the world, where AI is helping the teams on the set to go so much faster. We call it the co-pilot. We go so much faster. If the light is out, the co-pilot stops and tells us right away how to adjust it, if the model doesn't have the right pose. And we can do all these things respecting exactly the DNA of every single brand. There's a large luxury brand, like definitely one of the top 30 in the world, that took one of our B2B picture, like a €7 picture, and run a campaign with it for the United States, which is a massive market, And the reason why is because they told us, oh, this respects so much our DNA. Why? We're a photocopy machine. We don't take good or bad pictures. We just take pictures which are very, very precise, what the brand tells us to take. So, or the marketplace tells us to take. So what we have done is just we feed, hundreds of SKUs, how they want them shot, etc., what they've done up until yesterday. And the AI learns exactly what that brand wants. And we deliver exactly that at a fraction of the cost. And so it used to be when the clients ask us, hey, do you guys also do editorials or campaigns? We used to say no. Now we say only by mistake.
Okay. And Gianni, to keep it more on the AI side as well. So you said like it's like a production assistant. So how can I imagine this? Like you have like the photo shoot, and there is like an AI talking with you, or with like how does it work in reality?
I mean, it's just a regular team. Maybe there's one extra person on the set. And you would see, the photographer, you would see the stylist, that they receive constant input, by the AI so that they move forward faster. And you would see the whole team performing at a speed that is, not possible just with humans, but it's possible when you have humans and AI working together. And I would say AI, but there's also some good old software components that have nothing to do with AI, But let's say humans and machine together works very well.
And that's the reason why you can have this crazy cost efficiency?
Absolutely. We used to have, partners where they say, hey, we usually produce 50 SKUs per day per team. And once we train the AI, once we train our teams and our teams are trained to work with the AI, the same, we have teams that work and our throughput is 150 per day. But, the photographers, the cost is the same, the models, the cost is the
Yeah,
same,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
have triple the throughput, so the cost per SKU is, one third.
Yeah, yeah,
Simple.
yeah, yeah.
And this is something that we see on a regular basis, It's something that we've seen over and over again, and that's something that we couldn't do without the technology aspect. And that's also why we don't license out our technology. Our technology needs to be run with people that are trained on our technology. There's a whole process on training photographers, training stylists, training DJs to work with our tech, and that's why we have our own hubs. The goods can travel all over the world. When you're saving $200, $300 per SKU, when you include both the savings on pictures and on videos, it just makes no sense trying to optimize for the €5 that you would save avoiding the shipment from New York to Miami or from New York to Milan, for example,
Yeah.
And we have bonded facilities, so we're super fast. You don't have to even to go through customs, like everything is super organized. I mean, it's not by surprise that, the largest players in the world, they're with us, and the most pain in the neck client, which we welcome very much on the luxury side, they're with us.
Okay. But it's not just luxury you do, right? You also do like all kind of fashion and sports fashion, right?
Listen, when you can do the uber luxury brands and when you can do the uber large marketplaces that need super high throughput and cannot afford 1 hour of delay, then you can do all the rest of the market. So by purpose, we started with the most and hardest clients. So then the rest feels like, easy.
Yeah, that's also what I usually say is like start with Zalando Marketplace and then the other ones are much easier. I mean, from the brand perspective, like selling
Okay.
there, yeah, because that's I obviously different than luxury brands from the fashion industry, but yeah, in terms of like a brand's perspective, that's what I usually say. Yeah. So how fast are you? I mean, you said already like your processes are very very fast. And I mean, usually when I think about like planning a photo shooting or like, yeah, there's no photographer today, so you are in Milan in Europe, like headquarter of models, I would say. Or a town of the models in Europe. Do you have like some examples? If I would come to you today as a fashion brand and I want some product images and videos, when would I have like my final picture with me?
So I can give you an upper bound and a lower bound. Okay. There's some clients that say, just give us the best price that you guys can, we don't care about having the pictures and the videos super fast because in any case, we put them online the same day that we put them in our stores. So, right now we are running a production that takes 3 weeks and we tell them, listen, for us, give us 4 days, 5 days maximum. We don't have any client that is above 5 days.
Okay.
And then there's others
when,
that say,
when do you start counting?
when they give us the
5
product.
days.
When they give us the product.
When you have the product in Milan, for
Yeah.
example. Okay.
Well, either in Milan or we have facilities. We have logistic partners. So we have a facility at JFK, we have a facility at LAX, we have a facility in London Heathrow. So when they deliver to one of our facilities globally, Hong Kong, we have, when they deliver to us, then we take care of all the rest.
Okay.
So if there is shipment included, it will take 5 days, I don't remember. Maybe there's a few exceptions, but I don't remember anything about 5 days. And then you have the opposite. You have some clients that say, hey, typically they are the multi-brands or, some brands that do not have a lot of time to shoot because they have sample sets and they want it shot super fast. And then we say, hey, on the opposite side, we run production on 0.5 days. So in 4 hours, in 5 hours, it's time to online. So in 5 hours, it's on your website. It's checked by your teams, post-produced, reformatted, put in your payment dam. Sometimes we even do the copy if they ask us, like it's full service and it's super speedy and it goes up there. Of course, the cost is it's higher when we have to run like this. We run our facilities 24/7, so we can shoot during the weekends, we can shoot during the nights. We're very flexible, very flexible. You know, and that gives us again. This is something that we've learned working with the Uber luxury. You cannot say you brand you can only do these things. When you're an Uber luxury brand, they'll tell you no. We tell you how we want to shoot, and then you build your business model so you can be super flexible on that.
Okay, I would say let's connect a bit to this performance, right? What's the ROE of good imagery on marketplaces? So how can brands shift their mindset from seeing content as a cost center to recognizing it's a conversion driver? How do you do this?
That's a good question, and we have a funny answers, and then we have some numbers to back it up. So the funny answer is it's infinite. Because to have a return on investment, you need an investment. Here, you don't. Like there isn't any single client, even the client that went from having 4 pictures to having 11 pictures and 2 videos, they're still spending less than they need for 4 pictures. Like I cannot recall a single client that is not pocketing some very, very healthy savings. And we've had luxury brands telling us, you must be losing money on this. The company is very healthy. We pay back all of our debt. We're debt free. We keep on growing absolutely cash flow positive, EBITDA positive, etc. Like we're a serious partner. But, so don't worry about counterpart risk, but believe us, we have our own margins in there and they're healthy. That's a fair partnership, That's the thing. So you cannot really have a return on investment because there is no investment. It's a negative investment. And it happens many times. The brands they say, but what if we don't want to save money? We just want to reinvest, and we tell them like, I don't think you can reinvest all of that. At least not with us. I mean, go out and do some more campaigns. Go out, do some more editorial. But you can't reinvest all of this money with us. Your collection is not big enough. I mean, if you were, a Zalando, if you were a My Terrace, etc., then you would have much bigger production on which you can scale these costs down. But you're a brand, you can't reinvest all of this money. And we told them, sometimes they ask us, but can you also help us do better pictures? And like, I don't know what is better. I mean, I really don't know what is better. You are the brand, you're the only one. We have some creative teams, but you can work even without them. You can, with all the money that you saved, you can call Steven Meisel and decide with him, how your picture should be, do a production for 50 SKUs, and then we will be that perfect photocopy machine that you scale from 50 to the other, 5,000 SKUs that are going to be perfectly aligned with that. And you're not going to see the difference. What was shot by Steven Meisel, what was shot by us, And we super much respect Steven Meisel. I'm just saying him as an example of one of the greatest photographers that's out there today. The other serious answer to your question is, okay, even if there is no investment, what are the results that we can expect?
Yeah.
Typically, is that +5 to +15% that all comes from increased conversion. So +5 to +15% is something that we see regularly.
In turnover, you mean? Or in
total sales.
In total
so
sales.
The same SKU with more content, the same SKU that had 4 or 5 pictures, that now has 9 pictures, some of them with virtual background if the client wants, and has 2 videos. Videos has a huge impact, by the way. Yeah. And has a couple of videos, and as a size and fit video, you would see, that, +5 to +15%. And then on the return rate, if you add a size and fit video and a couple of close-ups on the details, pictures, you would see, reduction that can go between -5 and -20% of your returns. Which again is big impact on your P&L.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. But I have to look at the time a bit, Gianni, because we're already over. But I'd like to come back to the topic of AI just for a final question, because you said before things are changing so fast and the technology is moving extremely fast. And as you are developing yourself, but also working with partners, what do you see for image AI in fashion specifically in the next years? What is coming? What developments are you most excited about?
So our point of view is quite precise. I have no idea if it's right or wrong. Time will tell. You will call me back in a few years and tell me how wrong I was. But we see AI as a multiplier of content. So
Is it?
you cannot have just unleash Gen AI unless you're a very, low-end market. You're selling super low-end and you don't care about return because people cannot return the product easily to you, and you don't care about having the right perfect color, the right perfect photo. Then that part is going to go Gen AI, but maybe it's 10% of the market. It's the real low end of the market. But then what AI can do, what we see over and over is the brands and the multi-brands should not be thinking about what's the best shadow, what's the best model that we can put there. This influence your brand plus your sales plus or minus 5%. The brand should really focus on like, oh my gosh, if I put 2 videos that maybe are not that great, but there are 2 videos while I design what is the great video for me. But while I am waiting to design that, which we can replicate, start putting some basic videos out there. And this is increasing your sales 5, 10, 15%. You should do it tomorrow morning. Like the opportunity cost of waiting is huge. So what we believe is that in the future, you need somebody to take the first 4 or 5 pictures, okay, and the first 1 or 2 videos in a super efficient and super perfect way. And we want to be that player. Then you feed that to the AI machine. At that point, the AI will know how the folds are working. The AI will know what is the perfect color. The AI will know what are the shadows that this product is creating. The AI will know, and then from there, for example, there's a size and fit video where I'm pulling my garment. The AI doesn't know how elastic it is. You can just make it up. But if you do this first, 5, 6, 7 pictures and 1 and 2 videos, and this can be done super efficiently, it's going to cost you less than what it costs you today to take 4 pictures, way less than that. Then you use AI to do, hey, I want to have another 3 videos. Or, hey, I want to do a face swap for the model. Because, for example, this is something that we brought to a luxury brand this year, which is working super well. They increased their sales over 30% in Asia because they took our pictures and we helped them do the face swap with Asian models for the Asian markets. It seems stupid. It seems easy. But that was close to 30% higher conversion rate. And they never wanted to do anything with Gen AI. The face swap is Gen AI because we're not touching the product. So they were absolutely against Gen, But we said, listen, it's not Gen on the product. Nothing is changed on the product. It's just the face of the model. Then they did it. They could never shoot before on Asian models because they didn't have the budget. It used to cost them 600 euros, 700 euros per SKU, just the pictures without the video. Now we can do that face swap, and they've seen these huge results. I'm like, great. Now you see. So I believe that there's a role for a player that gives you super, super good, super high quality pictures and videos that are not Gen AI, okay, that respect 100% the brand DNA and that are shot in a super efficient way. And then there's going to be a layer of Gen AI where it's going to double or triple my account of content. And then the players are going to be winning are the ones that are using it in a smart way. If I know that customer, there's a high chance it's going to be Asian, I'm going to show in the Asian model with this type of video. If I know that customer is going to be in this segment, I'm going to use it, in the young fashion segment. I'm going to show in these other picture with these other poses, with this other face model, and with this other video. And they're going to be optimizing for higher conversion.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's an interesting lookout, Gianni. I don't think I will be calling you in 5 years and tell you how wrong it is because it sounds very sound to me. But yeah, thanks for joining us today and for your insights on this very much evolving and interesting market. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Pixelmoda.net, anybody that wants to get in contact with us, and we'd love to help you in this journey.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gianni. It was really a pleasure. And for all of those of you who are listening, if you want to learn more about Pixelmoda and how they help brands get marketplace ready with AI-powered imagery, we'll link our extensive service provider portrait in the show notes, and we also have a webinar together in December, I guess.
December, yes. In December, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, and that's it for today. So don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever, so you don't miss out the next one, where we will give you an update on everything important that happened in the marketplace world in September. So see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You listen to Let's Talk Marketplace,
the Marketplace podcast with Ingrid Lommer and Valerie Dichtel.